Number 4. Britney Spears, for the last 13 years, has been controlled by her father, placed in a rare court-appointed conservatorship.
Yeah, that's it. Conservatorship.
I get my glasses hopefully this week. The pop
Nice.
star lost power over her vast fortune in business dealings, a move her father, Jamie Spears, and others argued was necessary to protect her from grifters and other potential pitfalls while she focused on her mental health. In Los Angeles Wednesday, Britney was able to address a judge about her conservatorship. Per the New York Times, Britney is in an emotional plea, asked to end her conservatorship. How many more times is that in the write-up?
It's a big word, man.
Quote, "It's embarrassing and demoralizing. I want changes and deserve changes," end quote. According to Rolling Stone, Spears appeared in court via Zoom after technical difficulties delayed the hearing. Spears requested that her testimony remain open for all to hear because they've done a pretty good job exploiting my life, end quote. Spears' harrowing testimony presented her side of the last 13 years of her life, which have been controlled by the Jamie Spears left-led conservatorship. Spears noted that any claims that she has dementia are false. She's a little young for that. Or is that him?
That's him.
Okay.
Jamie
Spears noted that any claims that she has made about dementia are false, noting that she had been the one to teach her dancers the choreography of her shows. Spears pointed out that the medication she has been given over the last 8 years, including lithium, which she describes as a strong drug, I can corroborate that. She compared herself to a sex trafficking victim while describing her life, where she's forced to work every day. The people who did this to me should not be able to get away and walk away easily, end quote, she told the courtroom. I don't know that from personal experience, just professional.
Sure.
About lithium.
The thing with, and I'll get into this, and I know I do my rants. This is not gonna be a rant this week. It's just like, this is insane. Like, I understand she went through her stuff. We all know when she shaved her head and she bashed. A lot of people have done a lot of things. This was 13 years ago. I was 23 at that time. I mean, I was working in a newspaper. I was actually pretty mundane at that time, but she would have been 26 at that time. 26, going on 27. It's one of those things where I don't know what's going on there. Her dad seems like a real winner. Anyone that names their other daughter the same name as their dad, which is what happened. Her Britney's sister is Jamie Lynn Spears. Right. That's got to be a little weird. That guy's got a lot of issues. The thing that, I didn't put in this because I want to point out is that she was forced to have an IUD put into her, and she's not allowed to remove it or have kids or be married during this whole thing. And if you follow Britney Spears on Instagram, like I do, she puts out these weird videos pretty much every day about I'm doing okay, and it's super concerning, super weird. And it's just kind of this cult mentality. There's this cult thing going on with her dad, which, there's the hashtag Free Britney out there. And with the documentary came out with this stuff, and it's things are actually getting super gnarly in this camp. And I hope for her sake, but I also hope for other people's sake that are out there. Maybe, this is a very rare thing where someone that young gets put into this situation, but I'm sure there's problems out there where people are brainwashed to believe that they should be put under someone else's care, even if they're fine. I think, Britney had some issues and stuff like that, but I understand oh, okay, she did some weird stuff. I think Britney, 5 years down the road from all this happened, we put her, without the conservatorship would have been fine. I'm just saying this based on the life of how people live. So her dad doing this, the fact that she's able to go and talk coherently to a judge, I think is also a very prescient thing where it's she can say things and she's I don't deserve this. This is batshit crazy that I'm doing this kind of thing. And it's just I hope good things for her, because whatever you think about Britney's music, which I love Britney's music, I do, and it's one of those things. But I also I love people that just can just enjoy their life, and to see someone actually feel like she's a slave to her dad in this weird world is so gnarly to me. In like 2021, where like people aren't stepping in and aren't trying to change things, and it's like you feel like there'd be some sort of like middle party that would have come in like 10 years ago and been like, this is super screwed up. We need to like fix this. And I mean, she has a boyfriend who, like they have like little things here. It's like there feels like there should be something going on. It's like there's a lot of problems with the court system in the United States, and Britney Spears' freedom, it doesn't need to be the first thing, but I'm sure there's other things out there with, less famous people. And I think that's actually kind of the point I'm trying to make with this is super weird. We have way bigger things to worry about, and maybe things that shouldn't, Britney Spears appeared in court today for a couple hours just to be a normal person, just to be away from her dad. And yet we're, who knows how many, thousands of dollars were paved away through this in Los Angeles to just have her talk about like, hey, I see crazy people every day. I see crazy people every day at the bookstore. They're not under any conservatorship. And by watching Britney, she's not crazy. Maybe she's a little weird. Everybody's a little weird. So I just hope that I hope she gets out of this. I hope better things for her. And, it's just weird to me. I think the mental health issue, and just to go on that thing, is such a gnarly topic in this country where people don't take it seriously, or they take it to a realm where like, once you're confirmed to have a mental health issue, you're just completely fucking crazy. And like, there's no help for you. There's a middle ground. There's actually a middle ground where like, maybe you have mental health issues. Maybe you need to, have a psychiatrist, be on some drugs, not lithium, which is basically what happened and killed Kurt Cobain was on lithium.
Lithium's used primarily to treat bipolar and schizophrenia.
Right.
And it's really, really strong. Like you have to get blood work done pretty regularly to check like the lithium levels in your blood and stuff like that. So it's nothing to sneeze at. I'd be interested, just from having a background working in mental health, for the last 10 plus years, just to see what kind of cocktail they have her on. Like I remember seeing her on the X Factor show or whatever, and it was so obvious that she's like super medicated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Just her affect
it's sad.
was just kind of like so like flat at times, and then other times like over exuberant and things like that. Just from that standpoint, I'd be interested to see kind of where some of this is going. I think I'm sure, taken out of context, being compared to a sex trafficking victim is maybe a bridge too far for me, just from, again, my professional background. And like I said, probably taken out of context.
And I think that basically just comes down to the fact that she was literally had an IUD forced into her. Sure. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Yeah. She can't have, I think that's the way she looks at it. And yeah, I mean, she does have a different illusion of life. And I agree with you. There is that thing where like that might have been taken out of context for her, but she's not really allowed to see the outside world. That's the thing that's super weird. This is the weirdest thing to see someone go through. And we've seen a lot of celebrities go through some weird shit, whether it be Michael Jackson or, Madonna's had some weird stuff go on. Britney Spears, this to me is the weirdest thing. Like that I've seen, that I personally have gone through, where it's like,
certainly
she's not the, we'll say this. And obviously, we don't know Britney Spears personally or anything. There's no way she's the most screwed up of any of these people. She just happened to have a dad that is definitely weird. And that's a big thing where like, I remember reading stories with her early on where she had this like weird relationship with her dad, and so there's something going on. I think, he definitely has some sort of cult, allegiance over her, and maybe over her sister, maybe over her mom. We never hear anything about her mom anymore, which is just kind of weird to me. It's always her dad. So, I just want the best for Britney. because I want the best for everybody that, is going through anything. But it's weird to see this so out front. I mean, this was the major news story of the day. I was, it sounds weird, but it's like, when I found this was today, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm glad we're recording on Wednesday and not Tuesday, because this is a very important news story. Like every news organization I follow made this their main topic today about her, conservatorship, like her talking about it. And so, it's sad to talk about. I don't think there's anything you can take away other than like, I'm glad she was able to finally speak about it, and we'll see what happens going forward.
Yeah. Like I said, I find it, because I don't care one way or the other about Britney Spears from a pop culture standpoint, but I am kind of curious to see how this unfolds just in terms of like the mental health aspects of it and things like that. That's because it'll be to a certain extent professionally interesting to me, but